What is up, everybody? Good morning. This is going to be a battle from the 25th of November, yesterday morning, where I was working on just the long-term grind to get the JM33 rounds for my Type 90 Japanese main battle tank. And I had a 10% team Silverline boost on, so whoopee. Was just playing along, just trying to slowly work on getting my way up to JM33 because I really can't wait to unlock that. Saw a couple enemy helicopters coming. This one's coming from a replay because the DVR didn't quite do what I wanted it to. I tried laser range finding on the UH-1C there, but all it told me was it was more than 820 meters or something like that, so. With only having relatively low velocity heat FS rounds, I didn't take more than one shot. And I just gave up after that, so. Enemy tank is taking B. We got friendlies that are overtaking A, so I figure, alright, A is well enough handled, I'm gonna push on up to B. And you might have a clue from the title of the video how this went, but if you didn't, let's just say, right as I came up around the corner here, apparently this T-64A was camping on that spot where I came through the hedgerows, because, yeah. One shot through the lower front plate. And that's all she wrote for the poor Type 90. So I didn't really make a lot of research towards the Type 90 here in this particular battle. But thankfully, like I said, I had more than one tank. So came back in the Type 74, put artillery immediately on the B point. I've got a teammate who's hanging out here right up in front of me in the normal buildings here that overlook the B point, and tried to move up, flank around to his right, and give him some support. You can see there have now been multiple enemy helicopters in the air. In addition to our friend, the UH-1 that I was shooting at, and this AH-1 here presented me too good of a target to pass up, and I got a pretty good lead on him with the old 50 cal, and put a couple of pretty good hits into him. Started him on fire, and I just had his number with the 50 cals this time. Put a few really good hits into him, and down he went. And that was that. AH-1 down. So I've opened up some scoring finally. The Mi-24 had taken some pretty good hits in his engine. Unfortunately, that right there was not one of them, but boy, it looked like it was close. I don't know how close it actually was, but I thought I had a pretty close shot at him there. He, of course, turned around and ran all the way back home. I assume he was probably out of rockets, plus slight damage. Wanted to just get home and hand things over to the ground crew and go get a stiff drink from his harrowing experience. In the meantime, I kept pushing up around the farthest edge of B. I went right to the edge. Right here is where it starts telling you return to the battlefield 24, 23, 22. So I kicked just a little enough to the left where it just said return to the battlefield, and I was just skirting the edge of the map here. Moving up to get behind him. Saw him shoot there, saw the smoke from his gun. Had a really good fix on him, knew that he was occupied with my teammates coming in behind me. Unfortunately, he killed one before I could get up here. The Type 74 is not the world's fastest tank. It's not too bad, but on the other hand, it was fast enough to get me in a position there to put a shot through the T-64 and take him out for a little bit of revenge and clearing the path to go in and capture the B point, which is good because our team all the way up north at C did not fare too well. We did hold the A point though, and we were pretty well off. Made it down into the cap, dumped the smoke in my usual preferred low terrain, low profile capturing spot here. Artillery starts coming in, and I just chanced it. There wasn't really too much point in getting out of this cap. I've got FPE, so if I took a hit and got set on fire, well, I could always FPE it. But better to capture and get the ticket bleed in our favor. So I finished the cap, waited to reload my smoke shells, and then prepared to move up towards A. Push up to where I could basically see the A point, as well as hang out here in the B point and defend it, and kind of be ready to react to a threat to either position. So moved up here, sat for a minute, just kind of waiting for some kind of action to develop. Or preferably waiting for any enemies to come up out of their south spawn and try and retake the B point, or make a northwest diagonal attack on the A point where I could kind of see them. So you can see an enemy there on in the background. Obviously I couldn't tell he was there, although the enemy behind me there did get marked where I could see him. So I could see and hear his smoke shells discharged, and I pushed over to pick him off because I figure it's going to be the same guy I've already shot and destroyed who killed me in the first place here down at this cap, at the B point. So move over here, get into good position, wait for his smoke to die down. Came out of the zoomed in shot and just waited to see anything. Just kind of scanning back and forth, making sure he's not moving side to side in the trees. He fires, I can see roughly where he fired from, and just got a lucky shot through his lower plate and took out his ammo. So that one worked out for me. Punched off my smoke here because I thought I heard another tank coming. Plus, that was not the guy who initially killed me, and then I return killed at B, so I thought he might still be coming. Fired off a little artillery in the trees back there to hopefully mark him, waited for my smoke to reload, and then returned to my original plan of hanging out alongside the building and being ready to go to A if need be. So got back into position here and realized that the A point is being taken, so away we go. Hesitated for just a moment and then took off. They fired artillery at the B point, but A was a more pressing place to go because I didn't know if an enemy had fired the artillery from their spawn in the south, or if the guy who's capturing the B point, or the A point rather, had fired already at B to distract or stop anybody reacting and coming back up there to defend the A point. So I pressed A, expecting to get shot in the right side at any moment, but I made it all the way up there safely. So I've got a teammate right up here in a Leopard 2A4. And he has just taken out an enemy tank in that smoke there, and then I get over the top of the hill just in time to see him take a missile from a T-55 AM1. My shot didn't hit a good spot. Thought that missile was coming right for me, so I was trying to back away. And thankfully for me, it hit the 2A4. Thankfully for not the 2A4, it hit him. But on the plus side, he was able to get some return fire in on the T-55 AM1 and do some pretty good damage to him, which allowed me to spring forward and pull up alongside the 2A4 and try and protect him a little bit. So moved up to where I could have a much better fully stabilized, not moving shot at the T-55. Shot to knock down a tree. He was marked on the mini-map, so I fired my artillery on him. And then zoomed into where I could see again, and as soon as the smoke finally cleared, got a good shot into him, and got a nice assist. As soon as he was knocked out, I fired smoke in front of Hackwurst here in his Leopard 2A4 so that he'd be covered to finish off his repair, but he was finished pretty quickly and drove away. So I waited to refill my smoke again. And then I decided to return back to the B point because most likely an enemy was going to be pushing in there any moment, since I had artillery fired at me. So here comes a hind and a low approach. My gun just barely gets underneath him and then just wouldn't move that tiny little fraction of an elevation that I needed to get a shot at the hind, and he annihilated me with his rocket strike. So I came back in my KI-84 hey with the KI-84 hey with the 220s and the 230s and went helicopter hunting. So So based on the direction he'd been heading after he killed me, I figured he was over here somewhere, possibly making an attack run over towards the north side of the map. However, as you can see on the screen there, he's gone all the way back to reload his rockets, but I couldn't see that during the battle. So I came searching over here because I could hear a helicopter, and I thought maybe he was over here at low altitude down by the beach or something. What I was hearing is the friendly Alouette just behind me that actually is over at the beach, but I didn't know that at the time. So we'll speed this up until I catch up to the Mi-24. Who I can finally see right here. Once I finally dragged my guns down, I was leading him, but he was actually sitting still. And then I had spotted the Mi-24 sitting on the helipad reloading, and again, just overestimated the drop on my 20s and 30s. But I was able to get a quick double strike on their only 2 helicopters they had up at the moment, which gave us a pretty good chance at winning this, and then headed back to the B point, which the enemy team was now capturing. So I can see a teammate heading back in. I made a little swing past their spawn to see if I could spot anything coming out of there. Couldn't see whatever it was that was capturing, which obviously you can see is a ZSU-57 behind a building there. I did not see it at all, and then pulled up to try and make a high over diving down pass to see if I could see what it was. I see my teammate drive up and mark it and hit it, and then I came into strafe to throw up dirt at whatever the enemy was, and I actually knocked out his transmission and damaged part of his crew a little bit there. So I figured, alright, that's good enough. I could tell it was a ZSU-57 from the kill, or the damage camera at the bottom right, and I waited for my teammate to kill it, but when he didn't kill it right away, I thought maybe he'd been damaged by the ZSU-57, so I came in and kept strafing. And actually got the kill by detonating his ammo with the 20 mil cannons here, so I felt bad for half a second, but figured I'd have felt a lot worse if the ZSU-57 had killed our Type 90, so be it. There's an IPM-1 over here in the woods, but I couldn't see him to strafe him, and that basically was it. Just made a loop over the top of their spawns to take a peek and see if I could see any enemies coming to strafe. And then noticed that we were about to recapture the B point, and the tickets were bleeding out anyway, and that was that. You could see that Yak 9 over there on the left, or on the right coming in, but he didn't make it in time to kill me. As you can see, here's a screenshot I took at the end of it. Like I said, the DVR file failed and corrupted, so I'll fix that tomorrow. But in the meantime, here are the battle results. I had planned to make this a video, so at least I got all the screen caps. Not too bad of a battle, considering I got knocked out in my first tank without really accomplishing anything, so turned out to be actually pretty good. Not a bad run with the KI-84 there, for sure. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you thought. I will be recording a video today and another video tomorrow that I think you guys are going to like. Stand by for those. I'll get them out as soon as I can, hopefully tomorrow and the next day. But in the meantime, let me know what you thought in the comments, and have a great rest of your day.